Chosen one, this message found you for a reason. Not by accident, not by coincidence. Because right now, while you're watching this, something powerful is happening in your life behind the scenes. God is shifting things. The pain you've been carrying, the confusion you've been fighting, the silent battles nobody knows about, they are all leading you toward a breakthrough that is closer than you think. And deep inside, you can feel it. You may not understand everything right now, but your spirit knows change is coming. Because lately, life has felt different. Your emotions became heavier. Your mind became restless. Certain people started acting strange around you. It feels like something is ending, and something new is trying to begin. And that feeling is real. Chosen one, before God changes your life, He first separates you from things that can no longer go where He is taking you. That's why some friendships faded. That's why some connections suddenly became distant. That's why certain doors closed without explanation. At first, you thought you were being rejected. But now you're starting to realize. You were being protected. God saw things you couldn't see. He heard conversations you never heard. He felt energies you ignored. And He removed people before they could damage your future. Yes, it hurt. Because you loved genuinely. You stayed loyal. You gave people chances even when they didn't deserve them. But not everybody around you was sent to grow with you. Some people were only meant to teach you lessons. And one of the hardest lessons for a chosen one is learning that a pure heart attracts both love and jealousy. People admired your light, but secretly envied your spirit. Some smiled in your face while competing with your energy in silence. You felt it, that strange feeling around certain people, that uncomfortable energy you couldn't explain. Your spirit was warning you. Because chosen ones carry something rare. There's a different energy around you. Even when you try to stay quiet, people notice you. Even when you try to fit in, you still feel different. And for years, you questioned yourself because of it. You wondered why your journey has always been harder than other people's. Why you had to struggle so much. Why you had to lose people. Why life kept testing you again and again. But what if those struggles were actually preparing you? Because pressure creates strength. And God was building a version of you that could survive anything. Think about everything you've already survived. Moments that almost broke you. Nights where you cried silently. Times when you felt completely alone. Yet somehow, you're still here. Still standing. Still fighting. Still hoping. That's not weakness. That's proof that God never left your side. Even during the seasons where heaven felt silent, God was still working. And the silence frustrated you. Because you prayed for signs. You prayed for answers. You prayed for immediate change. But instead, everything became quiet. And sometimes silence feels painful. But silence is where transformation begins. A seed grows underground before anyone sees the flower. And in the same way, your breakthrough was growing in places you couldn't see yet. While you thought nothing was happening, God was rearranging your life. Removing distractions, closing dangerous doors, preparing opportunities. Because the next chapter of your life requires a different version of you. The fearful version of you cannot enter this next season. The insecure version of you cannot survive where God is taking you. So slowly, life started forcing you to evolve. You began protecting your energy more. You stopped begging people to understand you. You stopped chasing approval. And now, you're finally starting to see your worth. Chosen one, this is your awakening season. You are no longer shrinking yourself to make other people comfortable. You are no longer apologizing for your presence. You are finally understanding that God created you differently on purpose. That dream inside your heart. It was placed there for a reason. Those visions you keep thinking about. Those ideas that won't leave your mind. Pay attention to them. Because heaven may be trying to guide you toward your purpose. Too many chosen ones ignore their calling because fear convinces them they are not ready. But nobody feels ready before transformation happens. Faith means moving forward even when you cannot see the entire path. And right now, God is asking you to trust Him. Trust the delays. Trust the process. Trust the season you are in. Because everything is aligning for you. Even the things that looked painful. Even the heartbreak. Especially the heartbreak. Sometimes God removes people because they were blocking your growth. And later, you realize losing them saved your future. That's why you cannot return to old cycles anymore. You cannot go back to the same toxic environments. You cannot keep lowering your standards just because you fear being alone. Chosen one, isolation was never your punishment. It was your preparation. God isolated you so you could hear your soul clearly again. And during this lonely season, you discovered strength you never knew you had. You became wiser, more spiritually aware, more connected to your intuition. Now your energy feels different. You notice fake energy faster. You protect your peace more seriously. You value real connections more deeply. That is growth. And the beautiful part is, your reward is closer than you think. Because after every difficult season, comes elevation. The opportunities coming toward you will feel unexpected. New doors, new people, new blessings, things that once seemed impossible, will suddenly begin happening naturally. Not because you got lucky, but because your season is changing. The same God who carried you through pain, is about to carry you into peace. And one day soon, the people who doubted you will look at your life in disbelief. They will not understand how you transformed so much, how you became stronger, how you became happier, how you became more powerful spiritually. But they didn't see the battles you fought in silence. They didn't see the nights you almost gave up. They didn't see the prayers that kept you alive. God saw all of it. Every tear, every heartbreak, every moment you kept going despite the pain. And heaven never ignores endurance. So if you've been feeling tired lately, if you've been feeling emotionally drained, do not quit now. You are too close to your breakthrough. This is not the end of your story. This is the moment your life begins changing. And deep down, your spirit already knows it. Chosen one, the old chapter is ending. A new season is opening. A stronger version of you is being born. And very soon, everything that once confused you will finally make sense. So hold on a little longer. Pray a little longer. Believe a little longer. Because God is about to change your life in ways you never imagined. If this message spoke to your soul, comment below. My life is changing. And subscribe for more powerful messages made for chosen ones like you. Remember, you were never forgotten. You were being prepared. And the truth is, chosen one, most people will never understand what it feels like to carry a heavy spirit in a world full of distraction. They will never understand why you overthink at night. Why your heart feels everything so deeply. Why certain places drain your energy so fast. Because your soul was never designed to live asleep. You were meant to awaken. That's why ordinary things stopped satisfying you. Small talk feels empty now. Fake relationships feel exhausting now. Pretending to be someone else feels impossible now. Your spirit is evolving, and evolution always feels uncomfortable before it becomes beautiful. A butterfly must struggle before it learns to fly. And in the same way, your struggles were shaping your wings. But listen carefully. One of the biggest mistakes chosen ones make during transformation is doubting themselves right before the breakthrough arrives. Do not allow fear to convince you that nothing is happening. Because behind every delay, God is positioning something bigger. Sometimes heaven waits because the timing matters. Sometimes the blessing is ready, but the people around you are not supposed to go into the next chapter with you. And that's why separation had to happen first. You cried over people who were never meant to stay forever. You begged for certain situations to work out. You questioned yourself after every disappointment. But if God had allowed everything you wanted, you would have settled for less than your destiny. Think about that. There were moments you thought your life was ending. But later you realized it was actually saving you. That heartbreak saved you. That rejection saved you. That closed door saved you. Even the delays were protecting you from entering the wrong season too early. Because a chosen one must be spiritually prepared before elevation happens. Without preparation, blessings can become destruction. That's why God spent so much time strengthening your mind. Teaching you patience. Teaching you discernment. Teaching you how to survive alone. And yes, being alone changed you. You stopped trusting easily. You became quieter. More observant. Sometimes people think you changed because you became cold. But the truth is, you became wiser. You learned that not everybody deserves unlimited access to your heart. Energy is real, and chosen ones suffer deeply when they ignore toxic energy for too long. That's why your spirit kept warning you about certain people. You ignored red flags because your heart was pure. You kept giving chances because you believed people would eventually love you the way you love them. But not everybody has your heart. Some people only connect with others for benefit. Some only stay while it is convenient. Some disappear the moment you stop sacrificing yourself for them. And learning that truth hurt you deeply. Because you are the type of person who stays loyal even during storms. But hear this clearly, chosen one. Stop feeling guilty for protecting your peace. You are not selfish for setting boundaries. You are not wrong for walking away from disrespect. You are not difficult for choosing your mental and spiritual health. In this next season, boundaries will save your life. Because where God is taking you requires focus. You cannot keep carrying emotional weight from people who refuse to heal themselves. You cannot keep shrinking your light just to make insecure people comfortable. And you definitely cannot continue doubting the gifts God placed inside you. Chosen one, there is something powerful about your presence. Even when you feel broken, people feel your energy. Even when you stay silent, your spirit speaks loudly. Have you noticed how strangers randomly open up to you? How people tell you their secrets? How your words affect people deeply without you even trying? That is not normal energy. That is spiritual influence. Your soul carries healing energy. And that's why the enemy tried so hard to break your confidence. Because once a chosen one truly understands their power, everything changes. Fear loses control. People's opinions lose control. Past pain loses control. And suddenly, you stop living as a victim. You start walking like someone protected by God. That transformation is happening inside you right now. You may not fully see it yet, but others can already feel it. Your energy is becoming stronger. Your intuition is becoming sharper. Your spirit is becoming harder to manipulate. And some people are uncomfortable because they can no longer control you the way they used to. They miss the old version of you. The version that tolerated disrespect. The version that ignored red flags. The version that constantly sacrificed themselves to keep everyone happy. But that version is disappearing. You are awakening now. And awakening changes everything. Now you see through fake smiles faster. Now you recognize manipulation quicker. Now your soul feels disturbed around the wrong people instantly. That is growth. Never apologize for becoming harder to deceive. Chosen one, there is also a reason why you've been feeling emotionally exhausted lately. Transformation drains you before it strengthens you. Imagine carrying an old identity for years. Then suddenly God begins removing everything attached to it. Of course it feels uncomfortable. You are leaving behind an entire version of yourself. And growth always requires release. That's why your spirit keeps pushing you away from certain habits, environments, and conversations. Your soul knows you cannot rise while staying attached to low energy. And deep down, you know it too. You've outgrown places that once felt normal. Outgrown people who once felt familiar. Outgrown old ways of thinking. That's not arrogance. That's evolution. Some people will call you distant now. Some will say you changed. But they don't understand that healing changes a person. Pain changes a person. Awakening changes a person. You cannot survive spiritual battles and remain the exact same human being afterward. And honestly, you were never meant to remain the same. God created you to evolve. To rise. To become stronger through every battle you survived. That's why you cannot quit now. You've already survived too much to give up before your breakthrough arrives. Remember the moments where you thought you wouldn't make it. Yet somehow, you did. That wasn't luck. That was divine protection. There were moments God carried you when you were too exhausted to carry yourself. Moments where heaven protected you from things you never even noticed. Accidents that never happened. Situations that could have destroyed you. People who secretly planned against you but failed. God was there the entire time. Even in silence. Even during confusion. Even during your darkest nights. And if He protected you then, He will protect you now too. Chosen one, a major shift is approaching your life. You can feel it spiritually. That restless feeling inside you. That feeling that something big is about to happen. Trust it, because your soul recognizes change before your eyes can see it. You are stepping into a completely different chapter. A chapter where peace matters more than attention. A chapter where real connections matter more than fake popularity. A chapter where your purpose becomes clearer. And yes, blessings are part of this new season too. Do not let anyone make you feel guilty for wanting a better life. God does not want you trapped in survival forever. You deserve peace. You deserve stability. You deserve opportunities. You suffered enough. Now it is time to receive. And when those blessings arrive, receive them without guilt. Too many chosen ones sabotage their own breakthroughs because they secretly feel unworthy. But listen carefully. You are worthy of the life you prayed for. You are worthy of healthy love. Worthy of peace. Worthy of success. Worthy of happiness. Stop talking yourself out of your own blessings. Stop expecting disaster every time something good begins happening. Not every situation is meant to hurt you. Some things are finally arriving to heal you. And healing may feel unfamiliar at first. Because pain became normal for you. Chaos became familiar. You became so used to surviving, that peace almost feels strange. But this next season is teaching you something important. You do not always have to struggle. You do not always have to fight for love. You do not always have to prove your worth. The right people will value your presence naturally. The right opportunities will align without forcing everything. The right season will bring clarity instead of confusion. And slowly, your life will begin feeling lighter. Not perfect, but lighter. Your smile will become genuine again. Your energy will return again. Your hope will grow again. And one morning you will wake up realizing, you survived the storm that once almost destroyed you. That moment is coming. And when it comes, never forget who carried you through the darkness. Never forget the lessons pain taught you. Never forget the strength you discovered inside yourself. Because the strongest souls are not created through comfort. They are created through survival. And you, chosen one, you were born to survive. Not just physically, spiritually, emotionally, mentally. You were built for battles most people could never handle. That's why your story will inspire people one day. People will look at your journey and wonder how you remained standing after everything you faced. And the answer will always be the same. God never abandoned you. Even when you cried, even when you doubted, even when you felt invisible, He was still writing your story. And your story is far from over. In fact, this may finally be the chapter where everything begins changing in your favor. So keep moving forward, even slowly, even while healing, even while uncertain. Do not stop now, because your breakthrough could arrive at the moment you least expect it. One call, one opportunity, one connection, one unexpected blessing, that is all it takes for an entire life to change. And your moment is getting closer. Much closer than you realize. So tonight, instead of worrying about everything that could go wrong, pray, breathe, trust God, and remember, the same God who brought you this far will not fail you now. Your pain had purpose. And when that transformed version of you finally rises, chosen one, people will think it happened overnight. They will see the confidence. They will see the peace on your face. They will see the blessings entering your life. But they will never fully understand the battles that created this new version of you. They did not see the lonely nights where you questioned everything. They did not see the silent prayers you whispered when your heart felt heavy. They did not see the moments you almost gave up, but kept going anyway. That is why your story carries power. Because strength built in silence always becomes unshakable later. And right now, God is teaching you how to become unshakable. Not dependent on people's approval. Not controlled by temporary emotions. Not destroyed by rejection anymore. Because the truth is, a chosen one cannot step into destiny while constantly seeking validation from people who cannot even recognize their own purpose. You spent too much time trying to explain yourself to people committed to misunderstanding you. Too much time trying to prove your heart to people who only saw your value after losing access to you. But this new season is different. Now you are learning silence. Not weakness. Not fear. Wisdom. You are learning that not every battle deserves your energy. Not every opinion deserves a response. Not every betrayal deserves another chance. And honestly, that growth is protecting you more than you realize. Because sometimes the greatest spiritual power is the ability to walk away peacefully. Chosen one, God has been teaching you emotional discipline. That's why situations appeared that tested your patience. People tested your kindness. Life tested your endurance. Delays tested your faith. But every test was building something inside you. Self-control, discernment, inner strength. The old version of you reacted emotionally to everything. But now, you observe more, you think deeper, you protect your energy carefully. That transformation is important because where you are going next, your peace will become extremely valuable. Not everybody deserves access to your spirit anymore. And please understand this clearly. Just because someone misses you, does not mean they deserve you back. Some people miss the benefits you provided. Some miss the comfort of your loyalty. Some miss having access to your light while giving almost nothing in return. But God is teaching you to stop confusing attachment with genuine connection. Real love brings peace. Real connection brings respect. Real people support your growth instead of competing with it secretly. And after everything you survived, you can no longer afford fake energy around you. That chapter is ending. You are entering a season where clarity becomes stronger than confusion. Where intuition becomes louder than manipulation. Where peace becomes more important than temporary attention. And honestly, chosen one, that shift is beautiful, because for the first time in a long time, you are beginning to reconnect with yourself. Not the version people expected you to be. The real you. The soul beneath the survival mode. The person God created before pain forced you to become guarded. And slowly, you are healing. Maybe not completely yet, but enough to finally breathe again. Enough to finally see hope again. Enough to realize your future is still waiting for you. Because pain lied to you sometimes. Pain convinced you that your best days were behind you. Pain convinced you that life would always feel heavy. Pain convinced you that happiness belonged to other people, not you. But God never agreed with those lies. Your future was never cancelled. Your purpose was never destroyed. And your light was never gone. It was only hidden beneath exhaustion. That's why your spirit feels restless lately. A part of you knows it's time to stop living in survival mode forever. You were not born just to suffer endlessly. You were born to create, to grow, to inspire, to become, and yes, to experience joy too. Chosen one, hear this carefully. You are allowed to enjoy your life. You are allowed to laugh again. Allowed to dream again. Allowed to trust that good things can still happen for you. Do not let past pain turn your heart into a prison. Your story is still unfolding. And some of the greatest moments of your life have not even happened yet. There are still people you haven't met who will appreciate your heart properly. Still opportunities waiting to find you. Still prayers waiting to be answered. Still miracles waiting for the right timing. Never assume heaven forgot about you simply because the process feels slow. Slow growth is still growth. And honestly, God often moves slowly with chosen ones because their calling is bigger. Pressure creates diamonds. And you have been under pressure for a long time. But pressure also reveals strength. Look at yourself now compared to who you used to be. You survived situations that once would have destroyed you completely. Now you recover faster. You recognize toxic patterns quicker. You trust your intuition more deeply. That is evidence of transformation. Even your mindset is changing. You no longer chase everything desperately. You no longer beg people to stay. You no longer panic every time life becomes uncertain. Instead, you are learning trust. Trusting God, trusting timing, trusting yourself, and that trust is bringing peace back into your spirit. Because deep down, you are finally beginning to understand something powerful. What is meant for you will not require you to destroy yourself to keep it. Read that again carefully. Real blessings do not constantly drain your soul. Real love does not force you to abandon your self-worth. Real purpose does not require pretending to be someone else. What belongs to you will align with peace. And the things leaving your life right now, let them go. Not everything lost is meant to be recovered. Some things leave because their purpose is complete. Some doors close because your spirit has outgrown them. And yes, sometimes God removes comfort so you finally step into destiny. Because comfort can become dangerous when it keeps you spiritually asleep. That's why your life started changing. That's why certain routines no longer satisfy you. That's why your soul keeps craving something deeper. You are awakening to your purpose. And awakening changes your entire perspective on life. Now you care less about impressing people. Less about fake popularity. Less about chasing validation. Instead, you crave peace, meaning, authenticity. That is spiritual maturity. And honestly, chosen one, not everybody will understand this version of you. Some people preferred the version that constantly sacrificed themselves for everyone else. But you cannot betray yourself anymore just to keep others comfortable. You've done that long enough. Now it is time to choose yourself too. Not selfishly, wisely. Because you cannot pour healing energy into others while completely empty inside yourself. Even chosen ones need rest, need peace, need healing. That's why God slowed certain parts of your life down recently. Not to punish you, to restore you. Your soul was exhausted. You carried too much emotional weight for too long. And heaven knew you needed time to reconnect with your spirit again. So if life felt slower lately, trust the process. Not every season is meant for constant movement. Some seasons are meant for healing, some for learning, some for preparation. And preparation seasons often feel lonely because God is removing distractions. But eventually, the preparation becomes visible. Eventually, the growth becomes undeniable. Eventually, the blessings arrive. And when they do, chosen one, do not downplay them. Celebrate your progress. Celebrate your healing. Celebrate how far you've come. Because surviving what you survived was not easy. You earned every lesson through experience. And those experiences gave you wisdom most people never develop. That wisdom will guide you in this next chapter. A chapter where your energy becomes magnetic. Where your confidence becomes natural. Where your spirit stops shrinking for people who cannot appreciate your value. And perhaps most importantly, a chapter where you finally stop abandoning yourself. That may be the greatest transformation of all. Because for years, you fought for everyone else while silently neglecting your own soul. You gave love while secretly feeling empty. You supported people while struggling yourself. You stayed strong for others while breaking inside quietly. But now God is teaching you balance. Teaching you that your needs matter too. Your peace matters too. Your happiness matters too. And once you truly understand that, everything changes. You stop tolerating disrespect. Stop accepting half-hearted love. Stop settling for environments that suffocate your spirit. Because healed energy naturally rejects what once felt normal. And your healing is becoming stronger every day. Even now, while listening to these words, something inside you is awakening again. A deeper confidence, a stronger faith, a quieter strength, the kind of strength that does not need to announce itself loudly. Because true power is calm. True power is grounded. True power trusts God even during uncertainty. And that is the version of you being created right now. Not a fearful version, not a broken version, a wiser version, a stronger version, a spiritually protected version. And very soon, people will notice the difference. Not because you changed for attention, but because healing naturally changes your energy. You will walk differently, speak differently, carry yourself differently, and opportunities will begin responding to that new energy. Because the moment a chosen one stops doubting themselves, their entire reality begins shifting. That moment is approaching for you now. So do not go backwards. Do not return to people who repeatedly disrespected your spirit. Do not abandon your growth because healing feels unfamiliar. Keep moving forward, even slowly, even imperfectly, even while still figuring things out. Progress is still progress, and God is still guiding you, even when the path feels unclear. One day soon, you will look back at this version of yourself with gratitude. Grateful that you did not quit. Grateful that you survived the isolation. Grateful that God closed doors you once begged to keep open. Because eventually you will understand. Everything that happened was leading you toward this transformation. A transformation that will not only change your life, but inspire others to believe they can survive too. And that, chosen one, is the power of a soul chosen by God.